The universe is a big, big place. Generations of explorers have looked deeper and deeper into the vast expanse of the universe, one rich with resources and adventure for the taking. So if you're the imaginative type, leaving Earth offers near limitless opportunities for humanity's expansion. Of all the people weighing in on how we'll get to space, what we'll do there, and on what timeline, the voices of two billionaires, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, ring the loudest and most often. The commercial space business has blossomed over the past decade. Two companies, though, have grabbed the spotlight, emerging as the most ambitious of them all: Blue Origin and SpaceX. In the space segment, while the two companies might look quite similar in its attempts to explore space, the ideology and the approach of these companies vary quite significantly. But one thing cannot be denied: that they both are developing large, reusable vehicles capable of carrying people and satellites across space. Are you constantly curious? Then why not subscribe to Infinity for more videos like this one? And ring the bell for more fascinating content. Space projects have been dominated by government bodies, until we saw the ambitious companies such as SpaceX and Blue Origin diving into this diverse area. At first glance, these two companies look a lot alike. Musk, the tech mogul behind Tesla and the founder of SpaceX, a now $33 billion rocket company, wants to establish a permanent, self-sustaining city on Mars. Meanwhile, Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon, has his own space company, Blue Origin. Its work so far focuses on building a road to space with new rockets that could ultimately pave the way for floating colonies. These two grandiose dreams are markedly different. Dot and their owners occasionally spar about the details, but it's not inconceivable that their two companies will one day work together in space. Both are motivated by almost messianic visions of humanity's future beyond Earth. They're ambitious visions, and they're different yet also surprisingly similar. Musk has been obsessed with Mars for decades.
The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree that is the right way to go. Yes?
Bezos, meanwhile, has long been preoccupied with space colonies.
We can have 1 trillion humans in the solar system, which means we'd have 1,000 Mozarts and 1,000 Einsteins. This would be an incredible civilization.
Musk's core goal is to back up our Earth-based civilization on Mars, just in case terrible, lasting, and global calamities befall our home planet. To work towards that goal, SpaceX developed Falcon 9 rockets with reusable boosters, the largest and most expensive part. Using these boosters, which are capable of landing themselves back on Earth in multiple launches, saves many millions of dollars per launch. This reusability sets SpaceX's rockets apart from all other orbital rockets, which trash their boosters in the ocean or on land. SpaceX successfully landed its first booster on December 21, 2015. Less than a year after that feat, Musk walked onto a stage to formally detail SpaceX's plans for populating Mars. But those plans don't involve Falcon 9 directly, nor the company's newer and more powerful Falcon Heavy rocket system. Instead, SpaceX is working to develop a fully reusable rocket called Starship. Musk announces major design updates to this system about once a year. SpaceX's current plan goes like this. A crewed Starship would get launched into orbit around Earth. Then several tanker Starships would launch and meet the first one in orbit to refill its fuel tanks. Using that fuel, Starship would then launch from orbit toward Mars. Musk thinks Starship could ferry 100 people at a time. He has said the cost of a round-trip ticket to Mars could be about $100,000 $500,000. That price would be low enough that most people in advanced economies could sell their home on Earth and move to Mars if they want. A crewed mission around the moon, perhaps in 2023, would ostensibly prove that Starship is safe to fly through deep space. SpaceX would begin cargo launches to Mars in 2024. A crewed mission would follow shortly after, perhaps in 2026. Then a permanent city would begin to flesh out in the 2030s. But Musk has yet to reveal the technologies and cargo his company would launch to keep people alive on Mars or build a settlement there. Recently, SpaceX also became the first private company to successfully launch its SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket into space. It is the first time ever those commercially developed space vehicles, owned and operated by a private entity rather than NASA. Those vehicles have transported humans into orbit. SpaceX primarily builds itself as a transportation company, which means it may need others to figure out how to produce fuel on Mars, build off-planet habitats, and much more. Either way, Musk hopes to establish the first self-sustainable city on Mars by the 2050s. He'd also like to start terraforming Mars with greenhouse gases in the 2100s to transform it into a more comfortable, possibly Earth-like planet. That would help SpaceX to achieve its self-described ultimate goal of enabling human life on Mars. Bezos has a similar plan to realize his vision of future space colonies. Bezos' goal is for Blue Origin to build a road to space with a rocket called New Glenn, which is scheduled to debut in 2021. Like SpaceX's current Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, New Glenn would have reusable boosters that could land back on Earth and be utilized in future missions, lowering the cost of launches. New Glenn wouldn't be fully reusable like Starship. But Blue Origin is also developing a system called New Armstrong that might not waste any rocket parts. For now, Bezos' philosophy is to get Blue Origin good at launching and landing rockets, with its New Shepard rocket, which is smaller and not designed to reach orbit. New Shepard is designed to fly past the edge of space in a ballistic arc, giving paying tourists about 5 minutes of weightlessness at the top. This will give the company a robust experience flying human passengers before it targets orbit with New Glenn. Blue Origin is also vying to be selected by NASA as a commercial partner in the agency's push to get astronauts back to the moon. In May, Bezos debuted the company's Blue Moon lander. Bezos sees the moon as a major part of the road to space. Ice litters the moon's poles, and that water can be split into hydrogen and oxygen chemicals that can be used to fuel rockets. The lunar depot would be part of the means to more easily and cheaply access the abundant resources that are available across the solar system. This vision is broader than Musk's, which is primarily tied to Mars. If Blue Origin can make launches cheap, mine the moon for fuel, harvest asteroids for metals and minerals, and generate energy in space, it may be possible to construct space colonies and move people off the planet. Blue Origin is well set for giving major competition to SpaceX. Especially with Amazon's Cooper project and Oz space unit, it can soon be expected to make a competitive move against SpaceX. In the end, Bezos and Musk's visions, while different, aren't so dissimilar. They both want to make access to space cheaper, enable people to live and work there, and expand the horizons of humanity. Clearly, these titans of today's Gilded Age are thinking hard about their legacies, which despite their many other accomplishments may end up being for what they do in space. It's not unreasonable to think that SpaceX and Blue Origin may one day cooperate to achieve the impossible. Exploring the cosmos, terraforming other planets, developing space colonies, and millions of people living among the stars. What do you think? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it your thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. Click on the bell to always receive notifications about new videos. Want to see more of it? Check out the other videos from Infinity Insight about SpaceX and Elon Musk and its plan to colonize Mars. Click on the I button up here and give your reviews as well. Oh yeah, and don't forget to tell friends about us. More fun together. Thanks for watching Infinity Insight.